Drones may only be a camera on a miniature helicopter, but they still feel like the cutting-edge technology we were promised as kids. And in only a few short years, drones have ingrained themselves into daily life, buzzing around like mechanical bees. However, occasionally what you see could be something you wish you hadn't seen. Drones have recorded footage of some really unsettling things, from natural occurrences seen from a brand new perspective to things that are just plain odd. Here are 10 of the most terrifying things ever captured by drones. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss a video upload. Now, let's get started. Number 10. A friendly neighborhood cornfield clown. Nobody has ever stated, "This cornfield needs a really freaky clown to simply stand around for no good reason, actually." Nevertheless, here we are. A novice pilot in this video was flying over a sizable cornfield when he spotted something vividly orange. He examines what appears to be a spooky scarecrow more closely and then turns to face the drone. Scarecrows are stationary, right? Instead of being a typical thing to frighten birds away, it's a human that will frighten anything. Someone is lounging about in the cornfield wearing a clown mask and a bright orange blouse. The clown is informed of the drone's presence and, in fact, books it, leaving you to question what exactly he was doing down there in the first place. The pilot decides not to pursue the clown as he runs into the woods, probably because he doesn't want to try to fly through any low-lying branches. The scariest part is that he is actually quite close to the clown's disappearance when he flies the drone back to where he is. Number 9. An actual river of blood. Rivers of blood aren't something you often expect to see in real life. You typically only see them in horror films or the Book of Revelation. So, when David Mimlich used a homemade drone to fly over the Trinity River in Dallas, Texas in 2011, he probably did not anticipate that. According to D magazine, Mimlich went outside during his lunch break, flew around, and took a few pictures. Because a real river of blood is just as horrible as you picture it would be, there isn't a video for this one, which is probably for the best. Mimlich went back to work and reviewed some of the pictures he had taken during the journey. He then noticed a part of the river that was a deep shade of crimson. Mimlich speculated that it might be blood, but soon rolled out the absurd notion. Nevertheless, he got in touch with the National Response Center, which looked into it and discovered that the river was tainted with blood. Specifically, pig's blood was illegally dumped into the river instead of being properly disposed of by the meatpacking facility Columbia Packing Company, which is located upriver. Number 8. An escaped convict. Song Jiang, a Chinese man convicted of human trafficking, escaped from jail in 2002, after which he essentially disappeared. Police were tipped off that he was living nearby his village in the Yunnan Province mountains after going unnoticed for 17 years. For the police, it was too dangerous to search on foot in the area. Instead, they used a drone to fly over the area in September 2019 and were able to locate the hideout of this awful, unsettling criminal. When police arrived on foot, the atmosphere became even creepier. Jiang had reportedly been without human contact for so long that when officials tried to speak with him, he was unable to understand them, according to CNN. Police rearrested Jiang after confirming that he was there. According to NBC News, they discovered several blackened pans, layers of bedding, and proof that he had been doing his own haircutting inside his cave. Jiang also didn't appear to have taken a shower or washed his clothes in a long time. Number 7. Someone climbing a 1,500-foot broadcast tower. Cell phone towers are probably something you see every day. Have you ever wondered how the equipment up top is installed or kept up? It turns out that most of the time, someone simply scales the tower. Now, a cell phone tower is typically 200 feet tall, which is considerably higher than the ground. What about a broadcast tower that is 1,500 feet tall? You might be thinking that things require upkeep in a unique method. Nope, the plot is the same. Someone who is exceptionally composed under pressure scales the entire situation to function on that machinery. In essence, it's a free climb as well. Although the climbers have some safety gear, a lot of it is, well, heavy duty. Thanks to the wonders of drone technology, this video captures one of these climbs, and even if you're not afraid of heights, there's a good chance this will still make your skin crawl. The free climb is over 1/4 of a mile straight up for comparison. The tower is actually 50 feet taller if you don't count the 1,450-foot Willis Tower, originally Sears Tower, in Chicago. That's a really steep climb, which is almost certain to freak out a sizable portion of the populace. Number 6. A huge forest fire. Every year, dozens of forest fires threaten people and property on average, and they are also getting bigger and bigger. There is never a shortage of footage of wildfires, but most of it is shot from the ground or from a helicopter, neither of which can get very close. The drones may have challenges with vision and rough air similar to helicopters, but they may approach much closer and are still far safer than a helicopter carrying passengers. When the drone soars above the tree line and you can see smoke on the horizon in this film, it initially appears to be a typical nature video. However, when the drone zooms in for a closer look, you can see the size of the fire. A vast area of trees is burning, and the sky is filled with smoke. Even while this particular fire is not as large as some of the West Coast wildfires we've seen recently, it still appears vast and provides a sense of scale for those enormous fires. Number 5. An active volcano. You've undoubtedly seen one of two types of volcano videos if you've ever watched one. In one, lava flows slowly down a hill and melts anything that gets in its way. On the other, the volcano is erupting ferociously, but the footage is shot from a great distance because volcanoes are dangerous, and it is important to maintain safety. But technology comes to the rescue. Volcanologists can now make use of the fact that drones resistant to tremendous heat can fly into volcanoes and capture footage like the one shown above. They also remove the possibility of a fiery demise because the human pilot can be located far away. Even though drones don't always survive, their operators are usually unharmed. Number 4. A live tornado. Storm chasers not only provide us with breathtaking images and videos, but they also teach us more about tornadoes, such as their motion and the conditions that can spawn them. Additionally, you'll see more drone videos of tornadoes in the future. All of us have seen footage of tornadoes being captured from the ground, and although they are frightful enough, witnessing one from the air is both terrible and amazing. Thankfully, the tornado that was seen on camera in April 2019 near Sulphur, Oklahoma, wasn't too severe. Instead, most of the damage seen in the video consists of trees and small fences being thrown aside and crushed as the twister moves forward. To give you an idea of the size of the cyclone, you can see some semi-trucks and a cell tower nearby early in the video. Number 3. The aftermath of a tsunami. A 7.5 magnitude earthquake occurred on September 28, 2018, not far from the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. The earthquake only caused minor damage, but it did start what was initially assumed to be a modest tsunami. According to Scientific American, shortly after the tsunami, experts discovered that Palu, the capital of the central Sulawesi province, experienced waves that were 20 feet high, more than double the initial predictions. Drone footage of the city started to surface a few days after the accident. From above, one can appreciate the magnitude of what transpired by viewing the ruin. Some areas are still underwater, while other areas have collapsed bridges and homes that are a little more than debris. Of course, there are also the Palu residents who are getting ready to rebuild their city. Number 2. The Charlottesville Car Attack. A Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia on August 12, 2017 was met with opposition from a sizable number of nonviolent protesters who disagreed with the white supremacist and neo-Nazi views held by many of the rally attendees. Plans to remove a statue of Robert E. Lee from Lee Park prompted the protest itself, since renamed Market Street Park. In response to the widespread removal of Confederate monuments and symbols from public spaces in America at the time, various far-right organizations decided to attempt to unite under a single banner, giving rise to the name Unite the Right. James Alex Fields Jr., a white supremacist and neo-Nazi, rammed his car into a crowd of demonstrators that afternoon, injuring about 30 people and killing Heather Heyer. Several hundred people saw the action, which was also captured on camera from a variety of perspectives, including a drone that just so happened to be flying overhead. Even though the attack is only partially visible in the video, it is startling and gruesome nonetheless. The only car seen in the video is a red minivan that was struck by a white sedan after being struck by Fields. However, it still sends shivers down your spine to see others scurrying to avoid the terror. Number 1. a tour of a creepy abandoned building. The appeal of abandoned structures is real. On the internet, you can find urban exploration organizations that explore abandoned and condemned structures that are no longer inhabited but have not yet been demolished. The main drawback of examining abandoned structures is that they can be quite unsafe. Looking around a decrepit old building might not be the best use of your time, as you run the risk of injuring yourself on damaged building materials or collapsing structures, as well as ending up in jail. Not to mention all the ghosts who would undoubtedly call these sites home. Thankfully, drones are now a thing. Filmmaker Lucas Lewenda uses a GoPro mounted on a drone to explore the crevices of a deserted, eerie location in an award-winning video. Actually, it's not totally obvious what the structure was before it became damaged. It appears to have been a factory, although other portions resemble schools and other such spaces. Some areas have been taken over by nature, and vegetation is thriving next to cracked concrete and graffiti-covered walls. Even in broad daylight, it is quite eerie. Just picture how eerie this place would appear at night. That was it, guys. Which video creeped you out the most, and which do you think was a made-up one? Do tell us in the comments below.